If you were thrown into the Ice Age tonight, there's a good chance hunger would destroy your humanity long before the cold killed you. Not because you're cruel, because survival changes people. The freezing air would tear through your body within hours. Your hands would lose feeling. Your lips would split open. Every breath would burn. And eventually, your brain would stop thinking about morality and start thinking only about staying alive. For ancient humans, winter was never just a season. It was a brutal machine designed to erase entire bloodlines. This is the horrifying reality of how prehistoric humans survived the Ice Age. And by the end of this documentary, you'll understand why scientists believe the frozen world permanently reshaped human evolution itself. Because the humans who survived were not always the strongest. They were the ones willing to adapt to unimaginable conditions. 20,000 years ago, Earth barely resembled the planet we know today. Huge sheets of ice buried massive parts of the world beneath endless white landscapes. Temperatures plunged far below freezing. Forests disappeared. Rivers froze solid. Entire regions became lifeless wastelands. This was the world early humans were born into. A world filled with starvation, darkness, predators, and death. And somehow humanity survived it. Not because nature was merciful, because humans evolved faster than the nightmares surrounding them. The first thing the cold destroyed was food. Inside Ice Age caves, archaeologists discovered enormous piles of shattered bones. At first, researchers assumed they were ordinary leftovers from hunting. But then they noticed something strange. The humans weren't focused on meat. They were after fat. During the Ice Age, the human body burned insane amounts of energy simply trying to stay warm. Calories disappeared constantly. And without enough fat, people froze to death even with food in their stomachs. So prehistoric humans became obsessed with bone marrow. The thick, calorie-rich fat hidden deep inside animal bones became one of the most valuable resources on Earth. Scientists studying Paleolithic sites discovered that hunters often smashed mammoth bones open almost immediately after a kill. Every second mattered, because in a frozen world, fat meant survival. And then researchers found something disturbing. Some of those broken bones belonged to humans. This is the part of ancient history many people avoid talking about. Evidence of cannibalism has been uncovered across multiple Ice Age sites in Europe. Human skulls broken apart. Stone blade marks carved into human bones. Burn signs from cooking fires. Proof that during the worst winters, humans sometimes consumed other humans. Not out of evil, out of desperation. Some researchers believe starving groups practiced ritual cannibalism after death rather than murder. A horrifying decision forced by starvation itself. Imagine endless months of darkness. Imagine hearing children crying from hunger every night. Imagine no animals left to hunt. Then someone dies. What would your group do next? That question haunted the Ice Age. And deep down, most people already know the answer. But starvation wasn't even the most terrifying part of prehistoric survival. Because eventually, the cold started changing the human body itself. Some scientists believe humans occasionally slept inside dead animals to survive blizzards. As disturbing as it sounds, freshly killed mammoths could hold heat for hours in freezing conditions. During severe storms, giant carcasses may have acted like temporary shelters against deadly temperatures. The Ice Age did not reward dignity. It rewarded adaptation. Researchers studying prehistoric survival discovered that ancient humans developed surprisingly advanced technology far earlier than many people realize. Bone needles for sewing layered clothing. Thick fur garments designed for insulation. Boots made from animal hide. Grease rubbed onto skin to reduce heat loss. These people were not primitive. They were survival specialists. Experts trained by one of the harshest environments in human history. And even then, survival was never guaranteed. Because the frozen world was full of predators. Massive cave lions stalked snowy plains. Giant hyenas crushed bones with terrifying jaws. Packs of wolves hunted through the darkness. Humans were not at the top of the food chain. For much of the Ice Age, humans were prey. That is why fire became more important than almost anything else on Earth. Anthropologists believe some groups carried burning embers with them everywhere they traveled. Because if your fire went out during winter, death could come within hours. Think about how terrifying that is. One mistake. One storm, one gust of wind, and your entire family disappears forever. Eventually, humans even began fighting each other over warmth and resources. Some scientists believe the earliest forms of organized human violence intensified during the coldest periods of the Ice Age. Not because people wanted power, because survival pushed them beyond reason. Across Europe, archaeologists uncovered evidence of brutal prehistoric conflict. Crushed skulls, spear wounds, entire groups wiped out inside caves. When food vanished, humans turned against one another. And that may connect to one of the greatest mysteries in human history, the disappearance of the Neanderthals. For years, people believed modern humans simply replaced them because they were smarter. But newer research suggests the reality may have been darker. Competition, resource scarcity, violence, climate pressure. As the planet grew colder, Neanderthals slowly disappeared forever. But the real mystery isn't why they vanished. It's how they survived for so long in the first place. Neanderthals endured brutal frozen climates for hundreds of thousands of years. That required intelligence, planning, and cooperation far beyond what many people once imagined. Scientists discovered skeletons of injured Neanderthals whose wounds healed completely over time. Broken legs, severe injuries, which means somebody cared for them, fed them, protected them, carried them during migration. Even in a world ruled by starvation, humans still protected each other. And that changed our understanding of evolution forever. But modern humans had one major advantage: connection. Researchers studying ancient migration routes discovered tools transported across enormous distances between tribes, hundreds of miles across frozen terrain. That means groups were communicating, trading, sharing knowledge. And during the Ice Age, information may have been more valuable than food itself. Because isolated groups disappeared, connected groups adapted. Adaptation became humanity's greatest weapon. But survival during the Ice Age was not only physical. It was psychological. Imagine sitting beside a weak fire during 6 months of darkness, uncertain whether your family would survive until spring. No electricity, no comfort, no certainty, only fear. The mental pressure must have been unbearable. So humans created something powerful: stories. Anthropologists believe storytelling became essential for survival long before civilization existed. Stories warned children about dangerous ice. Stories explained migration paths. Stories taught hunting techniques, animal behavior, and survival rules. Knowledge could survive through storytelling even after people died. And that may be one reason stories became permanently connected to human evolution itself. But perhaps the strangest part of all is this: your mind may still carry Ice Age instincts today. Your fear of darkness, your attraction to fire, your anxiety during isolation. Scientists studying human behavior discovered that modern people still react emotionally to conditions similar to prehistoric survival environments. Firelight calms the nervous system. Darkness increases alertness. Isolation raises stress hormones. Your body remembers the Ice Age even if your conscious mind does not. Because for thousands of years, frozen landscapes shaped humanity itself. The fear, the caution, the violence, the cooperation, all of it. That is the real story of ancient human history. Not kings, not empires. Survival. The story of starving humans staring into firelight while blizzards swallowed the world outside. The story of the Ice Age. And the terrifying truth is this: if you had lived back then, you probably would have made the exact same choices too.